My name is Olivia Brooks, and the day my meeting got cancelled might be the luckiest accident of my life. If it hadn't happened, I would have come home hours later to a finished mess and a perfectly rehearsed lie. Instead, as I pulled into my driveway, I heard a brutal crash from inside my house, metal smashing into stone, loud enough to make my chest tighten. Then I saw dust pouring out of my kitchen window like smoke. My stomach dropped. Something inside my home was being destroyed, and I had a terrible feeling I already knew who was doing it. Please subscribe my channel to be in touch with me. Now let's start. I hurried to the front door and pushed it open. The moment I stepped inside, the air hit me, thick with drywall dust and the sharp smell of splintered oak. For a second I couldn't move. My kitchen, my beautiful kitchen, looked like a demolition zone. The custom cabinets I had designed were ripped apart and scattered across the floor. The marble island I had saved for 2 years to install was cracked straight through the center. And standing in the middle of it all was my stepfather, Victor Hale, gripping a sledgehammer like he was proud of the damage. 2 contractors in dusty boots were unscrewing what remained of the upper cabinets. Nearby, my sister Lauren leaned against the counter, talking to them like she was the one who owned the place. No one looked shocked to see me. Lauren glanced over her shoulder and said casually, "Oh, you're back early." Not "Why are you home?" Not "Wait, this isn't what it looks like." Just mild annoyance, like I had shown up before they finished their little project. "What is this?" I asked, my voice quieter than the storm building inside me. Victor lowered the sledgehammer slightly but didn't drop it. "Relax, Olivia," he said. "This kitchen was outdated. We're fixing it for you." For a moment I thought I had misheard him. "Fixing it?" I repeated. 8 months earlier I had completed that kitchen renovation myself. Custom oak cabinets, built-in lighting, imported marble countertops, every inch carefully planned. It had cost nearly $90,000. And every dollar had come from my own savings. "I never agreed to this," I said. Lauren folded her arms. "You take forever to make decisions. Somebody had to get things moving." There it was, that familiar tone I'd grown up hearing, like I was the indecisive one, the kid who couldn't handle her own life. I walked toward the island, staring at the jagged crack running through the marble. "Stop," I said firmly. "Right now." One of the contractors paused, clearly unsure, but Victor didn't hesitate. He lifted the sledgehammer high and brought it crashing down into the damaged countertop again. The sound echoed through the house. Before I could stop myself, I grabbed the handle of the hammer. Victor shoved me backward. The next thing I knew, his fist struck my cheek in a quick, sharp motion. The room went completely silent. A metallic taste filled my mouth. "Don't start making a scene," he muttered. "We're doing what's best." I looked toward Lauren, hoping, stupidly, that she would say something. She didn't even meet my eyes. And strangely, I didn't explode with anger. Instead I felt something colder, a strange calm, like a puzzle finally snapping into place. For years there had been little things, tools borrowed without asking, furniture moved around while I was at work, casual jokes about how I overthought everything. This moment was just the loudest version of a pattern that had been building forever. Without another word, I turned and walked out of the house. I sat in my car in the driveway, the engine off, staring at the front door while dust floated through the sunlight behind it. My phone buzzed twice in my hand. Lauren calling. I ignored it. Instead, I opened my email and pulled up the documents I kept saved there. The deed to the house, the refinance paperwork, one name on the property, mine. Then I opened the security camera app. A few months earlier I had installed cameras inside after some tools went missing from the garage. Everyone had complained about it, saying it made the house feel weird. Now the live feed showed Victor arguing with one of the contractors while Lauren paced nervously nearby. I made 2 calls. First, my lawyer, then the police. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't exaggerate anything. I simply reported an assault and the destruction of my property. By the time I walked back inside, the mood in the kitchen had shifted. One of the contractors looked uneasy. "Do you have a permit for this?" he asked Victor quietly. Victor scoffed. "We don't need one." The man shook his head slowly. "You do if you're tearing out structural fixtures." Before the conversation could go further, sirens sounded outside. 2 officers stepped into the house and took in the wreckage, the shattered marble, the broken cabinets, the sledgehammer leaning against the counter. "Who owns this property?" one of them asked. "I do," Victor answered immediately. I stepped forward and handed the officer my phone. He read through the deed, checked my ID, and then looked directly at Victor. "Sir," he said calmly, "did you strike her?" Victor stayed silent, but silence didn't help him. The camera footage filled in the rest. The contractors stepped back first, setting their tools down like they wanted nothing to do with the situation. Lauren's confident expression vanished instantly. "This is all just a misunderstanding," she kept saying, but her voice sounded thinner each time. Charges were filed later that afternoon. The contractors packed up and left without finishing the demolition. Their company even contacted me later to clarify they had no idea the work was unauthorized. For months, my kitchen remained and half destroyed. Family members called constantly, urging me to drop the case. It's family, they said. Don't make things worse. But I wasn't making things worse. I was simply refusing to pretend it never happened. The legal process dragged on quietly. No shouting, no dramatic courtroom scenes. Eventually Victor accepted a plea deal that required him to pay restitution and stay away from me. Lauren moved across the country a few weeks later. We haven't spoken since. The kitchen has been rebuilt now, though it's not an exact copy of the old one. I didn't want a replica. Pretending nothing happened would have felt dishonest. Sometimes I stand at the new counter and think about how often I used to stay quiet just to keep the peace. How easily silence can be mistaken for weakness. Taking my power back wasn't loud. It wasn't dramatic. It was paperwork, patience, boundaries, and the quiet decision not to erase the truth. When the final restitution payment cleared, my bank sent a simple notification. No celebration, just a quiet reminder that the house and my life finally belonged to me. And now there's one rule in my home. No one swings a hammer here without my permission.